Next on our very detailed list here this afternoon at Phoenix Park are these RT2000s, the Dunlop RT2000s. I'm handing over commentary now to Brian Chute and John Kenny, and just taking over the commentary seat as we look at these extremely fast saloons assembling on the starting grid.
And these are the RT2000s. RT stands for Race Tech. 2000 is the CC of the engines. It's a Ford, a Z-Tech engine sitting up the front, gearbox right behind it, and the drive is on the wheels at the back. So that's the way God really made racing cars. You know, you steer on the front and you drive on the back. And not a huge grid, but an interesting one. And the man that's been doing it all right is on pole positions, like the Ferrari team of Ireland. His teammate John Morris beside him. Then Donegan. What about these Donegan guys, John? Just in.
These two guys are racing for Cliff Dempsey Racing this weekend. Cliff Dempsey's been one of the stalwarts in racing, helping guys to race in the Formula Opel Championships and the Formula EFTA Championships. In fact, races Gavin Smith in the Formula EFTA Series in Europe. But as you say, it's a real surprise to see the Pat and Dave Donegan up the front row of the grid. Then Johnny Whelan from Naas on the third row of the grid. You've got to watch out for him. He's been extremely fast in places like Mondello Park and Kirkeston, but hasn't always had the best of luck in finishing races. In fact, the last race, he claimed that Jonathan Taylor gave him a little clip from behind, and he didn't finish the race, but in fact he just lost it himself.
We're just getting the green flag now. They're away on their warm-up lap. These cars running on Dunlop slick tyres. This is the first time we've seen the slick tyres this afternoon, and they'll take this, they'll give them a good warm-up. In the historics and that, they were running on treaded tyres, but these slicks get grippier and grippier. Plenty wide, plenty of adhesions. I said, not the biggest grid in the world, but 10 of these and 10 races. We've seen the Crosley really do a good business there, and this will be it. But Jonathan Taylor will be keen. He says he's going to leave the class this year, and he's going to seek his fame and fortune overseas, maybe in the Clio class. John Morris, a veteran really, because he's been in the old rallycross thing, but he's part of the Race Tech team that builds these cars. Both of them sponsored by the DHL and the Sunday World, so a good front row for them. But the interesting guy, Pat Donegan from Drogheda, and then David Donegan, as we said. These guys, I think this is Pat's first race. David had a 4th place the last time out, but for Pat to put this car up on the 2nd row ahead of Johnny Whelan, as you said, John, sometimes he leaves his brain about 30 yards behind, but he's a good pilot and one to watch.
He certainly is. He's the blue car, number 77 there. Just going through is the back car at the back of the grid. That's Des Cahill. He, not the Des Cahill that you probably know and love from radio, but he is racing in his first season of RT2000. In fact, of course, it is the first season for all these racers here. The sun beaming down here. Terrific day here at the Phoenix Park. It's a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and the Office of Public Works and the clubs involved and the RIAC have done a great job to get everything up and running here this afternoon, and we're bang on time here. This says the cars, as they're completing their warm-up lap now, the green flag lap as we call it. They're coming around Dunlop Corner and they'll come down onto the main straight. We've got to watch for Jonathan Taylor and John Morris in the front row of the grid. They are teammates racing for the Race Tech team. Jonathan Taylor qualified in the time of 1:11.87 this morning, just ahead of John Morris in 1:12.11, and there's quite a considerable gap between the front two and the Donegans, Pat number 30 and David number 20. Similar liveried cars, but you'll see that they're sponsored by Drogheda and Navan on the side of their cars as they go flashing by us. Johnny Whelan's on the 3rd row of the grid, car number 77, the blue car. Have a look out for him. I'd say it could be very, very incident and filled first corner. John Keeney's on the 3rd row of the grid alongside John Whelan. Gordon Kellett behind him. George Crozier and Des Cahill make up the 9 cars here for this RT2000 race. That's Johnny Whelan. Have a look for him now. Should be diving down the inside for this first corner. The 5-second forward board is shown. The tricolour will be dropping any second now and be away on this 8-lap race for the Dunlop RT2000. Then they get away. It's a nice clean start from the outside of the front row from John Morris. He just tries to tuck in behind our pole sitter, which is Jonathan Taylor, and David Donegan has got a decent start himself as well from the outside of the 2nd row as well, but it is Taylor who leads into the first corner. Can they all get around smartly? John Whelan just lets it drift a little bit wide. He's losing 1 or 2 places, I think, as they go down the Rathdown Motor Straight there, but they all got away cleanly.
It was David Donegan who made the best start, really. Morris got the wheels spinning. Taylor was away, but Donegan from the outside of the 2nd row just slipped it in and stalled himself. And these guys, where nearly lick it down the back of this Phoenix Park. This long one, 4-pot caliber brakes coming into this very tight hairpin. You can hear the little slick tires, and Taylor's gone on. He's made the classic mistake for the Phoenix Park. Jonathan Taylor has blown it, and can he do anything about it? But this is going to make a race of it. Where's Whelan? The old men have been banging wheels with each other. He's back into 4th place. He's not going to give up anymore. And these Donegan guys are no easy meat to get by, John. But at the moment, John Morris, no team orders in this red team in Ireland. He's in the lead.
Well, that certainly was a heart-stopping moment there for Jonathan Taylor. And as Brian says, we now have a race in our hand. He's won 6 out of 7 rounds this year. He's been all dominant in this championship so far. You can see him there, the red car just trying to tuck out behind the 2 Donegans as they come down to complete lap 1 of 8. He just went 2 wide. John Morris has got that lead. In the 2nd place it is David Donegan ahead of Pat Donegan, and that's a big moment there for George Crozer. It's right, it's John Keeney down the inside. John Keeney just locked up the brakes at the back of the field, because see what happened to Jonathan Taylor going into the STP
just
corner.
He's coming in. You can hear the squeal of the tires. He can't get a turn. No sense in even turn the wheel. He doesn't want to go on 2 stick. Gets up on the grass. Wheels are spinning. Donegan goes through. Then Pat goes through. Now they're side by side there, and these guys, Pat in the background, David in 2nd place. He's not going to give it up. He keep that door well and truly closed, and John Keeney there to watch, who is locking up the wheels. They're down to the back end. Can he do anything about it? The right hand side of the road is where he wants to be for the next corner. But Donegan knows that old stroke. He has it well and truly closed. He's going to have to go the long way around.
They are similarly liveried cars, as I say, but the way you can tell the difference is Pat Donegan is racing the car with Navanhire on the side, and David is racing with Navanhire on the side. So Drogheda Hire, I should say, on Donegan's car, Navanhire on David Donegan's car. Very similar cars in the 2nd and 3rd, and Taylor takes it way wide and just lets the car slip very wide. He did very well, Brian, to catch that coming out of Dunlop corner.
He was hoping to get that slingshot through the corner, but he lost all that advantage, and at the moment the 2 Donegans making him stay out on the very wide line. They keep him out there. He's trying it down again, tries to do it. Keep him out there, boys. He's on the grass, and this is the way it works. If you're not willing to invest a wheel, a door and a wing mirror, and all this time this man out in front, John Morris, if he wins this race, used to be the target of now, watch in the background for the red car. He puts the power in, holds it well. It doesn't just slide enough from, because the slicks are really gripping it. The Donegan boys are keeping it together, and they're holding him back. 3-car lead now for Morris, as I said. This young man has run the Phoenix Park, the hardest job in Motorsport. Clerk of the courts in the Phoenix Park. It would be lovely to see him win one.
Well, he was winning the last round at Mondello Park. It was absolutely pouring with rain for John Morris. He was on pole and leading the race by quite a distance, but unfortunately some of the water got into the electrics of the car, and he didn't actually finish the race, but he did gain a moral victory, and hopefully he is going to try and win here this afternoon. Jonathan Taylor has a little look down the inside, but he can't do that because the curbing is very narrow there as they come around Dunlop corner. This is an absolutely terrific race. We thought that Jonathan Taylor would have everything his own way, but the 2 Donegan brothers are keeping him well behind, and of course, as Brian says, this gives every opportunity for John Morris to pull away. They've completed 3 laps of 8, and what a terrific battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place between the 2 Donegan brothers, and also between Jonathan Taylor. They're doing a terrific job of holding him off, Brian.
David getting the head down there, John Keeney and Johnny Whelan having the ding-dong, but David there, but Pat Whelan, ex-Formula V man, knows all the tricks, watching the inside line. They're coming down this long straight, the Coca-Cola straight, down to the STP hairpin. Johnny is on the outside now. This is where he outbraked himself. He's still beside him. Will he do anything? Donegan has got to be cool. He's got to break that little early. It's a long way round. Just close that door in a nice way. Little rubbing of paint. Don't worry about it. You lost out again, John. Tries to get the power on. Doesn't get it on quite enough. But again, Donegan can play this from the front. He can lift a little, get him off the throttle. But these two should let brother David, he should be able to pull a car leg at the moment. Meanwhile, look at where John Morris is. Good old job.
Yes, great results so far for John Morris after that disappointment in Mondello Park in the last round. This, of course, is a non-championship race here at Mondello Park. The first year of these RT2000 series. They're hoping for 15 or 16 cars in the grid next year, and it could very well happen. It's an expensive class to race in. Of course, who said motor racing isn't expensive, but it's a terrific battle. They're in done 4 laps now, and the battle is really on between the 2 Donegan brothers. They don't seem to be worrying too much about each other, but they are worried about Jonathan Taylor as he tries to take 3rd place, and he does it. But can he keep it in the shoe in? It's a terrific battle, and he's done it. Well done to Jonathan Taylor. He went the long way around and took 3rd place. Well, fair play to him.
brought it in as deep as he could. We're going to have another look at that, I hope, because in fairness to him, now watch it, he's 2 car lengths at this stage. The car beginning to get away from him. He's opposite locking there. Donegan in the background thinks, well, we'll have a run. No touching, but he just turns it in. Now he puts the power on. Doesn't get to too much grass this time, locks it up, and he's up a place. He's up into 3rd place. Meanwhile, John Morris is still out the front. Now, let's see if David Donegan can keep it together. And he's blossomed again, coming out of the old STP hairpin. It's his zone, isn't it?
It seems to be, and there's a problem there for Donegan. He seems to be some of the bodywork rubbing on the back wheel of the car. He has a problem, there's no doubt about it. And maybe his brother can get around him and take 2nd place, and yes, he does. And Jonathan Taylor should be able to do exactly the same. Well, poor old David, he was running in 2nd place and running extremely well as well. That's car number 20, started from the outside of the 2nd row, but his race seems to be run. In fact, he's opened the door and he's heading down towards the pits. Unfortunately, his race seems to be run. Well, that was an awful pity from his point of view. Obviously, some contact there with Jonathan Taylor, it would appear, and his race is over. But that was a great battle for those 4 or 5 laps from his point of view.
This is the other battle. John Keeney on the left in the Dunlop Sasha car, and Johnny Whelan there. Look in the background. That is what the battle now is for 4th place. 3rd place man here is Jonathan Taylor. The other Donegan man seems to pull the car lengths. He's coming down to his bogey corner again, this STP. He's just got to break that little bit earlier. He's losing a lot of time. He hasn't got a lot of time to do it, but Donegan at the moment, Pat, and you can hear he's really heavy on the brakes. Don't throw it away. That's the man from Navan. The Navan man is through it. And where's John Morris? He's away out in the lead. 10 out of 10, John. Keep your head down. Use all the road. Skip your curb and keep it neat.
Yes, that was a very, very unfortunate moment for David Donegan, because he was having an absolutely brilliant race between himself and his brother Pat, and also Jonathan Taylor, our pole sitter. Taylor is now down in 3rd place overall, and this is allowing Morris to pull away, and he's had a race on his own for the last couple of laps. That seems to be a problem corner, right, the STP corner, coming down towards the Rathdown Motor Straight for Jonathan Taylor twice. Once when he was leading, he went off, allowing John Morris to take the lead, and then a couple of laps later, he just slid things wide. But this is a battle between George Crozier, I believe, and also Johnny Whelan coming down the main straight towards us, and then Whelan tries down the inside to try and take that place away from George Crozier. That's the way to do it. He sold him the dummy, Brian.
Let him out the outside. Johnny takes it back out there. George looks comfortable, and what he does, he pulls back around the corner and dives down the inside. Johnny not having the most exciting race, but this man is having the race of his life. He deserves it. He is the man who has kept this Phoenix Park alive for all those years. Donegan, the new superstar into Ortiz, and the man, in fairness, who's done it all right so far this year, made 2 unbelievable mistakes at the same corner. He'd be delighted for his teammate, but I still think he'd like to win, John.
I certainly would, because if you're going to win anywhere, you might as well win at the park in front of the TV cameras here. It's a prestigious place to win. I know it's non-championship on safety grounds. The RAC have been putting this in place in the last couple of years by taking the championship status away, but it's good to see that 9 of the RT cars out here this afternoon. As I said, there's only 9 cars in the grid, but it is the first year of this championship. They're heading down the ward towards the main straight, and on the main straight with 1 lap to go, our leader John Morris comes through. In 2nd place Pat Donegan, and 3rd place Jonathan Taylor, and it looks like it's going to settle for the 1, 2, 3. There's a little problem with the front part of Taylor's car, I believe, Brian, going around that double crystal corner. Yeah, he's very, very sideways.
Looks at a little flap there. It may not be with the centre unless some of the pins have come loose. Now, what you don't want going down the back of the park at over 130 miles an hour is for your bonnet to blow up. Will John Morris hold out? He's got the STP hairpin. He's got the Dunlop corner out onto that 60 feet wide straight. He's in there. He hasn't done anything silly so far. All together, one more time. Through you go, Morris. Through Donegan. Let's have a look at Taylor now.
Yes, Taylor in 3rd place. I don't think he could do absolutely anything about Pat Donegan. There's just too much room to make up. They're coming down for the very last time, the Rathdown Motor Straight, heading towards Dunlop Corner. This will be a terrific win for John Morris. The disappointment was etched across his face when he failed to win the last round in the wet at Mondella Park. Taylor's getting a little bit closer now to Pat Donegan, but I think he's just left it a little bit too late. That problems he had at STP corner twice has caused him to lose the race. But congratulations, it seems. Yes, coming down towards the checkered flag to take the victory in the RT2000 series race, it is John Morris who wins his 1st race of the year. 2nd place it is Pat Donegan. Well done to him. In 3rd place it is Jonathan Taylor.